Today I want to talk about this camping bin, this new piece of gear that I'm fairly obsessed with. It is a camping bin that's not a bin, it's not a box, it's a rucks. So let's get into it. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back. I want to start off by kind of apologizing. The audio video quality is going to be a bit different today. I'm filming this on my phone. There's like some gardeners down the street in the background, and so we're just going to do with what we got. But let's get into this gear case. So in just a second, we're going to get into this gear case made by Rucks. This is one of those like rare pieces of equipment that I just think are game changers. I'm very excited about this. Now, if you guys remember, a few weeks ago, I removed the cargo cases off my roof rack. I was trying to reduce some weight, reduce wind drag, and I just wanted to try not having them up there. Now, these guys actually sent me this case, and they sent it to me like right as I was doing that. And so I had a camping trip coming up that weekend, so I essentially just took everything that was up on the roof and threw it in here, and we went camping. It was like a super last minute camping trip. And so I gave this thing a shot, and everything that was in both of those cargo cases fit in here. I haven't gone through the step of organizing it or anything like that yet. I just kind of threw everything in here, and I still haven't had my chance to really dial it in and set it up the way I want to. But I've taken this on 2 camping trips, and I'm going to do a little like walk around of this thing, kind of like a overview, show you how it all operates, show you all its features and stuff. But I just kind of wanted to preface the video with that. I've used this on 2 camping trips so far, and I absolutely love it. Let's start with how this thing is kind of made. Now, it's like this super rugged, thick, weatherproof type material. Obviously, I went with the OD green and the black just because that's kind of my jam. If you've been following this channel, you probably have seen me lean towards that color scheme before. I think it looks really good, but there's a lot of features about this case that I think make it really special. And so I kind of want to start with these tracks here on the side. Now, if you can kind of see here, there's this little tab right here. This is holding the lid in place on the center. Now there's these little straps on the side where you can buckle this and like fully secure it just in case you're going to be on the highway or something like that. You don't want this thing flying open, even though, to be honest with you, with this a little elastic band that's around the side, you probably would be just fine. In fact, I'm pretty sure when we left our camping trip, I did not restrap this down. I had no issues. But you see this little tab right here. There's this little track system. You can push this tab in and you can take things off. So this lid can be completely removed. It also is still attached on this side. So if I don't want it going anywhere, awesome. But these little, the little tab that you saw on that lid, they actually make lots of accessories that you can mount on the outside of these rails. And they actually have the rail system on the inside as well too. And so what they sent me was just the tote. This is a 70-liter tote, but you can really get technical and mount different cargo cases and little baggies and stuff that they sell additionally on the outside and on the inside of it. And so you can really kind of build this thing out to be a super efficient and super organized little case. Now, I want to show you guys what I like the most about it. And honestly, well, there's 2 things that I really love about this thing. One is the lid. So real quick, I'm going to attach this thing again. So I'm going to put you guys down, attach this again. All right, you hear that snap. Now it's back into place. What's really cool about this lid is I can pretty much open it from either side, set that up right there, and now I've got access to like this whole side. And then obviously vice versa, I can do the same on the other side. And these little handles right here, I love that you can just kind of pull these out, and it's got that elastic type band around the outside. So it really just kind of hugs this corner here and secures. Pretty cool. And so it just makes it really easy to get in here and get what you need while still kind of leaving half of it still covered. I don't know, say you're in some weather, some rain, whatnot. I think that's a really cool feature. Now, another pretty cool thing is on the side here, you can see that it's got like this kind of window. And so maybe you are looking for something and you're like, I don't know what side it was on. Like on this side, I've got a camp chair at the very bottom. And so it'd be really cool to just kind of look in there and see what side it is. And then obviously reach down there and get it. Now, like I said, I haven't really organized this thing yet. I've just kind of thrown everything in there. And so for me, this is my storage for recovery gear, so tow straps, air down, air up stuff, extra camping equipment like extra propane tanks, some doo-doo bags, so toilet type stuff. And then I've just got some rugged totes, which I'll pull this stuff out and show you. Okay, so I kind of took out all the stuff that was on top. Now on the bottom, I've got this little blue rugged tools tote. This is full of fishing gear. And so that's just something that no matter where we end up going camping, if we run into a spot where I can do some fishing, everything I need is in that little tote. And then this is just like my miscellaneous stuff. So like we're talking paracord, bug spray, sunscreen, hot hands, all sorts of stuff. These little off wipes for mosquitoes, fire starter stuff, like emergency fire starter stuff. And then I've got this little camp chair. This thing is awesome for little kids. This is a tiny little table that I can set up so they can walk up, stand up with their food and hopefully not spill stuff. And then kind of like I said on the side here, I've got a spare super compact camp chair just in case we need another one. It's in there. I like this thing because I try to be minimalistic, but I like having spare stuff that you're not sure you're going to need or not. And so I tend to keep the stuff that's not really going to be used very often on the bottom, like you see here. And then on the top, like the spare propane canisters, recovery equipment, air down, air up stuff, that's all on top. So if I need to get in there and get to it, I can. Now, I also, while we were camping, I would just pick this thing up, put it on the ground by the truck, and like my kids' like wipes and diaper stuff, I just sat that in here on top, closed up the lid. So stuff that I don't necessarily store in here, I was just placing in here because it was a good spot to keep it. It was close by, real easy to get to. So you just pop it open and your stuff's in there. And so that is super, super cool. Now there's still a little bit more to this case. You can see here, you've got these little straps that go over the top. And so probably if you don't have this loaded up too heavy, you could actually carry this as a backpack, which is, I think, a pretty cool feature. It's got these side handles. Now this is what I kind of use to pull it in and out of the truck. It weighs like practically nothing on its own. And so ton of weight savings compared to the cargo cases or like rigid type cases. So that's a pretty cool feature about it. Now, if you don't plan on using these backpack straps like me, you can either kind of tighten them up against the side rail here, make it nice and snug, or you can just use the little tab here and remove them completely, which is what I'm doing. I'll just throw them in there just in case I ever do need them. But to be honest with you, I'll probably just be using the case like this. Okay, so I've emptied this thing completely because I want to show you my second favorite feature of this case. Now it's not rigid. It's got these braces in the corner, which keep it in the shape of a box currently. Now these braces are kind of like those slap bracelets. I don't know. You know, when I was a kid, there were these bracelets that you would like slap against your wrist and they'd form to your wrist. These are kind of like that material where they will like give in and then they'll snap back into place and be rigid again. And so that's pretty cool because you can completely collapse this thing. And now you got this thing that you can store away flat, out of the way, maybe in between camping trips. Or if you want to, you can keep stuff sorted in it full time. But I think this is a super awesome option for somebody who maybe just doesn't have the space to store something like this, and then just to snap it back into place. Now, something you should know about these things is they're not super rigid and they can give kind of easily. So I'm not like placing that much pressure on it. And at first I was like, oh, red flag, but I actually learned pretty quickly that that is actually a pretty cool feature. Now, let me explain. This is actually why this is one of my favorite features of this case. Once you fill this thing up and you've got stuff in it, it's got all the form it needs. If something is pushing up against this case because you've got your truck loaded up with gear, that's actually kind of a bonus. Like I had some firewood on this side of the case on our last camping trip that was kind of like pushing into the case. And that was awesome because it let me kind of squeeze things into place. And if it was a rigid case, the firewood wouldn't have been coming. But since this had a little give into it, it kind of like nestled into the case. And this material is super thick. And so I wasn't really worried about the side of the firewood tearing it or anything, but it let everything kind of fit in together really snugly. And I didn't have to worry about like strapping this thing down so it wouldn't fly out the back while we were on the trail. So really super awesome feature from my point of view. Now, another cool thing is I'll flip this over. The bottom has got like this nice kind of like rubbery bottom. So it's got a lot of grip to it. And though it can slide around, it kind of grabs the bottom of the truck bed. And so it's not really, even if I wasn't totally loaded down super heavy, and snug and everything in place, I still don't think I would have to strap this thing down because it grips pretty good. Now I got a little cheat sheet for specs here. Volume is 70 liters. Empty weight is 5.3 pounds. Dimensions are 15.7 by 19.5 by 13.8 inches. Compresses to 3 inches tall. Suggested load limit is 50 pounds, which I can tell you right now, I'm probably not getting anywhere near that. And I got this thing fully loaded. And so pretty strong little case. Now this thing isn't cheap. They're pretty expensive, but I do have a discount code for you guys. If you use Alpine Tactics 10, you can save 10% on this case. Now, let me know if you guys want to see some updates to this case in the future. I'm probably going to see if maybe I can get my hands on some of those accessories that will attach to the outside, inside. And I plan on really, really building this thing out to be super organized and just a way better version of what I used to have on the roof of my truck. And so that's it for today, you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you out there. We'll catch you in the next video.